Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you how to do a change of spark plugs in a 2011 Kia Soul 1.6 liter engine, and this probably applies to the 2010 and maybe some other models too. It's just basic stuff, and what you need as far as tools is a 10mm socket. All right, and then for the spark plugs, we have a 5/8 socket, and this has a magnetic insert so it grips the plug. Now they also sell ones that kind of like have a rubber insert grip, so when you put it on the plug, it's pretty firm so you can pull it out because the plugs are in deep. And then, hold on, let me just switch the tripod. All right, so I got NGK plugs, iridiums, and here's the type, the LKR7AIX, and the stock number from, where did I get this, Advance Auto, pretty sure. And you don't have to gap these like the good old days. They're protected by this little cardboard collar. And so when we put them in, we're going to just stick it in there. And as you see, it's magnetic, so it holds the plug in place. It holds firm, and then you can pull it out. It's not super duper tight grip, but it's enough. Keep these collars on until you're actually ready to put it in to your cylinder head, because if they do fall and hit the electrode, you can bend it, and that'll mess it up. There's a space. Let me see if I can get this close enough. But there's a space between the electrode and the contact unit. You don't want to mess that up. Here's kind of like a compression washer. When you let's see, it's hard to see the display in the sun. When you tighten this in, this it's gonna be, you're gonna feel a stuckness, and then you're gonna do like maybe another eighth a quarter turn. You'll feel it. You don't want to brutally tighten these plugs. All right. So that this washer will compress just a slight bit. All right, so let's go back to the engine. All right, there's a cover, plastic cover, that you would take your 10mm socket wrench. I already got these loosened up, and just take these 4 10mm bolts out. And then you should be able to lift the plastic cover off real easy. All right, don't be silly and try and balance it anywhere on the engine. Set it aside somewhere really firm so you don't lose the bolts. It could be a whole nother chore. And then these clips, sometimes you have to stick something in here too, but on mine, they just come off if you just jiggle them around, okay? So let's get the coil out. So 4 cylinders, 4 coils. And it doesn't matter which one goes where, a coil is a coil. Okay, so take this out and stick it on the side. And here's another tidbit. If you take the coil out and you look inside the cylinder and you see oil in there, there's a good chance that whoever did your oil change, including yourself, spilt oil, and it seeped through the cover and down into the cylinder. That's a possibility. So don't automatically think you got some sort of cylinder, some leak over there by a spark plug. Okay, easily comes out. Just get all these out of the way. Now just quickly, I'm gonna spin this and show you that it's good to have an area where you put everything down. Don't start putting stuff, miscellaneous areas all over your car. you know, by the engine compartment and little nooks and crannies, because you're probably going to lose them. They'll fall down. Don't do it. Get yourself a little platform or a table or something to keep organized. So you see over there, I got all the coils and the bolts and the tools I need. All right, so let's get to removing the spark plugs. Okay, so the spark plugs are kind of down in the well. Okay, actually, you know what? I'm gonna do a close shot. So, but anyway, as you see this is like, I don't know, maybe 6 inches, 7 inches. You want a little bit more extension, so you have room to spin the socket. Okay, so maybe 10 inches. Okay, so there we go. See, spark plugs are down there in the well, and put that there. So here's the spark plug socket, and we're going to drop it down over the plug. You're going to feel it seat pretty tightly. Okay, and again, this is magnetic inside the socket, so it's going to hold on, because if you don't have that, it's going to be hard to get that spark plug out. All right, so let's start taking them out. Let's get that in there and poke it loose, and cool. Okay, you can feel it like come loose. There's a lot of threads, remember, and yeah, so there could have been a little residual oil in there, and I'm kind of hoping, because there's oil on this, and it's probably stuff that was sitting in the well of the spark plug. We'll see what happens after I put my new plug in. All right, anything that may go in there now will get burnt, hopefully. All right, so we got the old plug out, and I'll put the new one in. A lot of threads, so you got a long way to go when you tighten it. And instead of doing the ratchet a billion times, I like spinning it as much as I can by hand, and then you'll feel it firm up. Not crazy firm, just like a little bit of tighten, okay? And that one is done. And I'm gonna wait until I get them all in before I start putting the coils back on. Okay. See if we got it. Okay, that's out. Yeah, no oil on this one. The electrodes are worn a bit. How many miles are on this? Let's see, about 106. I have 160,000 miles, 161,000, and I think I put these in at 95,000. So, yeah, maybe 70,000 miles on this. It's probably about time. Just firm. I would guess, I don't know, if there was a torque wrench on that, I would say maybe 7 to 10 pounds of torque. I didn't look it up and see what the manufacturer would recommend, but okay, so spark plugs are all in, and we're going to put the coils back. And I'm going to put them all in place, and then put all the screws on, and then connect them. And remember, it doesn't matter which one you put where. Coil's a coil. It's not specific to any one cylinder. The only time it would matter is if you're changing one and you want to change the right one, the bad one. You don't have to put them in super duper tight. You're not holding, you know, an engine head to the block. So just enough to keep these babies secure. I like using the smaller socket ratchet rather, because I can spin it all the way around continuously. It doesn't hit anything that could be in the way if you're using a longer one. You know, you can do this with the small bolts. Okay, so let's double check. All right, those are on. Good. And so we got the plugs in. We have the coils back on. Before I put the cover on, it would be a nice surprise that it didn't start. We have to put the clips on, so just put it in place and push. Okay, get the clips on, ready to cover. Remember, passenger side, number 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and the dusty top. So, let's start this up and see how everything runs. Yeah, it's funny, I think a lot of YouTubers do you know, mechanic videos are kind of like, oh, if I keep the tape running and I start this up, it'll probably jinx it and something will be like running bad or something. All right, let's see what happens. Running good. Okay, so, all right, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this helped you out. You got any other questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try and answer them. I'm not a super duper experienced mechanic. I've been working on cars as a hobby since I was a teenager, you know, and it's been quite a few years. I know the basic stuff. If these plugs, again, like I said before, were buried somewhere on the side of an engine, forget it. I bring it to a mechanic and pay them to do it. But the easy stuff, oh man. You know how much money you just saved to replace a coil? A mechanic's gonna charge you full price for the coil, which is like 120, and then probably another 75 to 100 bucks to put it in. A tune-up, who knows? I don't even price it. A tune-up is gotta be over 100 bucks. I mean, this takes 30 minutes of your time. So anyway, yeah. All right, give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe. I'll have a lot of other cool how-to videos on other stuff besides working on cars too. And thanks for tuning in. Take care, everyone.